Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Bob Work. I'm the CEO for the Center for a New American Security, and I'd like to welcome you all this morning to this conference on the political, legal, and other policy measures for reducing maritime security risks. This is the latest in a series of events that CNAS has been holding an Asia-Pacific security program, and it's organized around the subject of maritime security in the region. Now, this is an important subject. Indeed, just yesterday, National Security Advisor Susan Rice identified maritime security as one of the most pressing security issues in Asia today. So with this in mind, this conference, as its title implies, is all about how we might reduce tensions at sea, mitigate risks of escalation and conflict over maritime territorial disputes, and ultimately advance peace and security throughout the region. Now we're going to focus, again, on identifying and developing those political legal mechanisms to peacefully manage competing interests among the actors in the region. In other words, move towards a rules and norms-based system for some of the world's most dynamic, congested, and disputed waters in the entire world. These can range from fishery agreements and other joint development agreements to confidence-building measures like deepened cooperation on humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. In this vein, I think all of our hearts go out to the people of the Philippines after the tragedy of Typhoon Haiyan. We have with us today Assistant Secretary Henry Bensurto Jr. Henry, are you here? As well as Ambassador Jose Cuisia. Mr. Secretary, Ambassador, thank you very much for joining us. Please accept my personal and the condolences of the entire center at CNAS on the loss of life and property that your country has suffered, and we hope your entire nation has a very speedy recovery. Disaster relief and humanitarian assistance is something that should be beyond border disputes and should cross borders and unite the citizenry of the entire region. And that helps to explain the very robust U.S. and international effort, I believe, to aid the Philippines in the tragic aftermath of this typhoon. And we can only hope that the unfortunate incidents like this will spur further cooperation and further preparation for future disasters so that we can help everyone in the region. Now, returning to the conference today, we have a fantastic group of experts this morning from various countries with deep experience and knowledge on these issues. And I'd like, again, to particularly recognize Assistant Secretary Bensurto and Cuisia Sensei, who is a member of the Japanese Parliament and was able to come with us today. As you all know, she's a former Defense Minister and National Security Advisor for Japan. We're very honored to have you, ma'am. To you and all of our distinguished and expert panel guests, thank you for taking the time to be with us today and discuss how we can work together to create a safe maritime Asia, free from coercion, escalation, or conflict. I'd just like to remind you all to silence your cell phones before we begin. And I'd like to turn it over now and ask Ambassador Cuisia if he might come up and say a few words before we start the program. Unfortunately, I have to go to another event, so I look forward to watching the event on the web and learning the insights that come up. But Ambassador, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Work, for giving me this opportunity to say a few words. Let me take this opportunity to thank all of you for the expressions of sympathy and support for our suffering people in the Philippines, particularly those who live in the devastated areas, particularly the two provinces, Leyte and Samar. And as you probably know, more than 4,000 people were killed, over 18,000 been injured, and close to 4 million have been displaced from their homes, and about 10 million people affected in 44 provinces. So it's been an enormous devastation for our people in the Philippines, and we thank the U.S. government and the American people for the tremendous support and assistance that they have extended to the Filipino people. We thank the United States for taking the leadership in terms of disaster relief and humanitarian assistance. And because of your leadership, the rest of the international community, over 40 countries, have joined the effort in rebuilding the areas that have been devastated in the Philippines. I also wish to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Patrick Cronin for having organized this forum together with his team. And I'm very happy that our expert on the law of the sea, Mr. Assistant Secretary Henry Bensurto, is here. This issue is very important to the issue of maritime security, particularly security in the West Philippine Sea or the South China Sea, is very important to the Philippine government. And I would have wanted very much to be here for the rest of the forum, but I also have to be in Congress to brief House members on the devastation, because they want to see what the U.S. Congress can do to help the Philippines. So again, thank you to all of you, and I'm sure you'll have a very, very educational forum this morning. Thank you.